Sorry about that. And I dropped for a bit. Sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah, my modem reset. I had to recalibrate it. It took like a few minutes. It happens once in a while. It'll just reset all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I was gonna stop anyway. I already did all my dailies and shit for today. Tomorrow I'm gonna play a bunch, do all the advance and get everything done tomorrow. Do lots of exploring, lots of treasure hunting. I mean, I could talk for a little bit if you want. I'm not tired yet. I'll probably go to bed in like 30 minutes. And not much going on, comic. Really wish I could tell you more than that. There hasn't really been much going on. Yeah, I haven't been doing much at all, dude. I've been just working on my 2 day weekend off for the holidays. And that's cool. At least you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, for me, it's more looking for something to play, and I've burned through all my games, and I just haven't felt like playing anything else. Like I literally played like a bunch of games, and then I was playing games that I played before, and I was like getting kind of tired of it. I was like, yeah, I've already beaten this game, 3 times, and I don't want to beat it again. I've already played it before, so it gets a little monotonous. I like the game, but it's like I don't want to play this game again. Like I was playing Zombie Army Trilogy again for fun, and then I started feeling the burn again because I've already beaten that game twice, and I was like, oh, and I'm going through it again. I'm like, this is the same fucking shit. I've already beaten it before. It's not anything new. And fighting games has just been, yeah. No, no, it's absolutely true. You're actually right. When you play an MMORPG, you actually spend less money. That's actually true because you're investing all your time in that one game. And to be fair, for $15 or 12.99 or whatever for entertainment, for a whole month entertainment, is actually really good. That's really good. If you think about it in terms of value, that's amazing. Like just the fact that you're entertained for a whole month on one game, and you're only spending $13 a month for it. That's excellent value if you think about it. You can't have that much fun. Like the only time I ever have that much fun spending that little, unless I buy like stellar games that are like stupid cheap, and I buy a ton of them, and they all back to back, but that's rare. Like even a game that I love is $15 launch. It doesn't last me a month. Maybe it lasts me 2 weeks, maybe a week. I kind of just burn through it and it's done already. So I used to play Final Fantasy 11, dude. Final Fantasy 11 would give me hours and days of entertainment, and I would only spend I was spending I think 16 a month. 16 a month, man, and I would get all the entertainment out of it. And like I milked it hard. Yeah, it would actually prevent me from spending a lot of money on other stuff because I would just invest my money on that. The Genshin Impact was doing that for a while too. I was only spending $5 a month for a while, and I was like $5 a month for that much entertainment is like stupid cheap. Like you can't enjoy a game that much for $5 a month. That's why I was kind of surprised. That the free to play game with microtransactions, it was actually that content heavy at the beginning was so amazing because I was like, wow, I actually got excellent value out of this game. Like because I like playing it and I like earning everything in the game. I like doing everything. So problem is this game is once you get to the end, it gets really a drag. That's with any MMORPG, even Final Fantasy 14 is going to get that way. The minute you get to the end, you finish everything in the game, and you've beaten all the story, gotten all the quests done, all the you've done all the jobs that you want to level up, and it just becomes raids all day, and then it's like, and then that gets a little tedious after a while. Because like, I don't want to do raids all the time. Yeah, those games are more action driven than 14. 14 is more story driven. I personally, you know where I come from in terms of MMORPGs. 11 was a very slow paced game, but very methodical. There was a lot of strategy. But I don't like 14's like system that much because it reminds me too much of WoW. That's why I don't like it. I hate WoW. WoW is like I have no interest in WoW, and 14 plays way too much like WoW. It just looks better. The only thing I like about 14 is the music. The story looks fun, but I just don't like the gameplay. It gets a little boring for me. It's one of those games where just I've tried it, I played it for a while, and I felt the burnout pretty quick compared to 11. 11 had a lot more longevity to it than 14 did. 14 just 14 I felt just got to I felt the burnout quicker with 14 than 11. So 11 was an experience. 11 was just something else out of this world. It really was. And but the problem is trying to go back to 11 now is really difficult for me because I've done everything in 11 like to the hardest degree. Like I'm super hardcore in 11. So going back to it just doesn't feel like I'm going to get anything out of it. I'm going to play it for a short while. I'm gonna get burned out of it really fast, and I'm like, and all I do is just sit AFK in a lot of the zones because I don't want to do anything. It's like, oh, what are we gonna do? The same three things we do every day. It's like I do ambuscade, I do dynamics divergence, and I do omen. That's all I do. It's just those same three events all the time because that's all I can do. It's every fucking day. That's all I can do. And then you have a timer on how long you can like go back and do some of that stuff, so you have to wait. So they're like dailies. It's exactly like dailies. They it keeps going back and forth, and it's just like, yeah, this is what the game has become at the end. I've literally just earning money, and then a lot of times you don't even need to play the game with people. You just what they have mercs. Mercs just merc everything for you. So you make so much money in the game, like you make tens of millions, hundreds of millions of gil, and you can buy anything you want because anybody can farm it for you. So you're like, oh, I want this end game drop. All right, well, I'll pay you to do it for me, and it's literally easier to do that than to actually play the game because doing the actual event takes way too much work and takes way too many people. And you need a competent group to do it. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with like. No, the economy is actually really healthy. It's just there's always ways to make money. No one feels fucked out of making money. It's just the thing is the amount of work that goes into end game is so demanding because you need a link shell, you need a guild, you have to. There's timers on the stuff, and you have to do things with like 18 people a lot of times. Unless you have godly gear, you're gonna be doing it with like 12. But generally with 18 people, and I'm like, that's a lot of people to organize all the time in the same server to go on a schedule to do end game events. You don't do pickup groups with Final Fantasy 11. You're asking for it if you do. If you do pickup groups, you're gonna lose. Like, I've never won a single pickup group with any event I've done. It's always failed. So I stopped trying. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm sick of fucking pickup groups. Pickup groups suck. So that's why I stopped playing, dude. Because I was at a I was at a point where my gear is like god tier. Like I had godly gear, dude. Like some of the best shit in the game. Like my account is, I ain't gonna lie, is sexy as shit. I have a sexy account. If anybody saw my account and they'd be like, "Yeah, that guy's got is pretty tricked," like definitely, I'm no slouch. I can definitely hold my weight. Compared to now, it's still damn good. It's not perfect. It's still worthy. Anybody that picked up my account, like, oh, this guy's got some nice gear. Like, it's like, yeah, definitely, I am not a hobo. I have but there's a point where the stuff I want is so hard to get. It takes so much time to get. I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to spend 3 months straight of farming just to get a single item. I mean, that's probably what it'll take me if I hardcore farmed in that game for 3 months straight, every day, like 3 hours a day, and just did nothing but that for 3 months straight. I could probably buy the item I wanted. For I would have to have a merc do it for me, and then I'd have the best weapon in the game. But at the same time, I'm like, is it worth it? Am I gonna be that much stronger? It's not like the stuff I kill is it's already easy as it is. It's just gonna be a little easier. It just doesn't make up enough difference to make worth a shit. Oh, but that's new Final Fantasy 11, dude. That's new Final Fantasy. You know what old Final Fantasy 11 was? You want to tell you how bad old Final Fantasy 11 was? You know how long it would take to make a legendary weapon? Like, how you have in 14, you have your legendaries, like your relics and your all the artifacts, all that shit. The ultimate weapons. When 11 first was introduced, like back before the 70, when the 75 cap was in Final Fantasy 11, you would have to farm Dynamis. I kid you not. You would if you took your time farming Dynamis and farming money while going on runs. You're talking about 2 years. 2 years for one relic. You had to farm that much money to get one relic done. 2 fucking years of farming, doing the same event for 2 fucking years. So trust me, I know pain. I did it right after they changed it to a higher level cap. It was still a lot of work. I had to spend like 6 months farming to get it, and I finally now it's piss easy. You can make a relic in shit a week if you're hardcore farming and everything's soloable now. You can do everything yourself. You don't even need a group to do it anymore. You can do it all by yourself. That's how easy it is now. It used to take an alliance to kill the monsters. That's just to get you the drops to get you materials to craft the item. That wasn't even the money part of it. That was just the crafting part. You had to fight like specific, like stupid high level bosses that would take anywhere from 18 to 36 people to kill. Annoying it. My boss was annoying as shit. I fucking hated it when I was 75. It's like, God, this fucking boss is so stupid. Because he would there's an ability in 11. I think it's in 14 too. It's called Benediction. Basically, it's the white mage full cure spell. Like, it cures the entire alliance full HP and takes all status effects off and revives anybody. That kind of deal, like the ultimate cure spell. Well, this monster could do it at will. So basically, he could literally just do it And he had a timer. He could only do it like once every 45 seconds. So he could do it anytime he wants, as much as he wants, every 45 seconds. So basically, is when he busts it out, you have to fucking zerg his ass before he gets the 45 seconds around again to get the timer back up. And then you, because if you don't, he could do it again. And I remember when I first fought him, it was just never ending benediction. I was just like, this motherfucking boss. Like, fuck this thing. Holy shit. Like, annoying as shit. I was like, God, like the most, like, just bullshit white mage, black mage, red mage boss. No, I'm sorry. White mage, black mage, bard. It was three jobs in one. So his gimmick was he rotate all three jobs special move. So he would start off, I think, with Soul Voice, which made his songs really powerful. That was weak. That didn't really do much because it's more of a party thing. Then he'd go Black Mage, where he do Mana Font, which he would just spam magic, like high tier magic. He just nuked the whole party like crazy. That wasn't too bad as long as you healed up. But then he'd always do Benediction as the third one, and he had a rotation. So it was like when we saw Benediction, we everybody would just buff up, hold their TP. Basically, we're like ready for the animation to kick in for the Benediction. Like Benediction, okay, Zerg, and then everybody would bust their cooldowns, and then eat their food. Do the most damage that they could possibly do to get this thing down before it would do another Benediction. That was the whole strategy. But yeah, the most I could get it down was maybe like 20%. And me and my Link Cell tried. We had like 20 people. And, it's not like the players, they knew what they were doing. It's just their gear wasn't that good. It takes really high level gear. So we kept trying and trying, and we could not get this fucker down. I was like, we tried, it was the best we could do. And I'm just like, this is annoying as shit. It's not hard if you're like a godly LS. If you got the god tier gear, then it's not too bad. You'll get it down like pretty fast. You'll just destroy it. But if you're not in that category of gear, you ain't gonna beat it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I know that's the kind of shit I dealt with at 11, dude. That's not even like the worst boss. That's just one of the annoying bosses. There was other ones. Like there was one boss that you had to fight that he would well, this is a Dynamis boss. Back when Dynamis was really hard because you would have to fight ninja mobs, and 11 are really dangerous because they have a move called Mijin Kaguri, where they sacrifice their life to do a shit ton of damage to a party member. But the problem when the monsters do it, they get a different trait altogether than the normal one. The normal ninja, like if you use ninja, it only targets one person. Then when the monsters do it, they target the entire alliance. So I'm like, okay, that's bullshit. So you fight the boss version of that, and he would basically be a ticking time bomb where you had to like be on his ass because you're like, okay, lock him down, don't let him move, because if he fucking does that move, he will just blow up and kill the whole alliance. You would just see the whole alliance take like 5,000 fucking damage and just die just from one attack. I mean, that was just like this fucking like that kind of shit is like really annoying because it's scary because the whole match is going to be over in a second. If he gets the one move out, the monster just has to get that one damn attack and kill the whole fucking alliance. Like it's basically how it works is the monster can do it whenever he wants to. The frequency goes up, the lower his HP gets. So he's very unlikely to do it at the beginning. I've never seen him do it that early. I think the earliest I've seen him do is Half Life. But usually what we have to do is when he gets down to like about 20%, very likely he's going to do it. So what you need to do, the strategy is you have somebody that needs to sacrifice themselves. So what usually somebody does is sleep it. They'll sleep the monster so it doesn't wake up, and then the alliance gets away from the monster and lets the black mages handle it. So the black mages will go to the corner and nuke it, and then that way it only takes out one person. So he'll target the black mage, kill him. Okay, he can only do it once, so it's like he can't. It's not like he can do it whenever he wants. He just does it one time. So you'd have to set someone to be a suicide teammate. They'd have to sacrifice their life just so you can get through that phase. You have to do a lot of shit like that in Final Fantasy XI. You have to use strategies like that because someone is gonna die. A lot of times bosses will kill you, so you have to usually have a sacrifice. Like Dynamis was like that a lot. A lot of monsters in Dynamis would have moves that would just kill the alliance. So you had to force someone to be like the stool pigeon to take it for the team. Yeah, I used to be a thief because thief was like one of the best sack pullers. So thing about Dynamis too is a lot of monsters are very aggressive. So and they link with other monsters really easy. So if you don't pull correctly in the zone, you'll just cause, you'll see basically people say train, train, and you'll just see like a shit ton of mobs pop on the screen, which is gonna kill you. These things are like roided as all hell. So if you fucked up what I would do is I go to the front line and I'd have to study. Like I took a lot of practice. I got really good at it because I understood how the linking worked. So I would always pull at the right moment so the monsters don't link. Like basically, a lot of times it's sight. So as long as they're not in line of sight, they usually don't link. So I would time the pulls so the monsters would like right when they turn around, the monsters would. I'd pull the monsters right when the other one turns around, so it doesn't come with it. Because the problem is he does see it, then he'll bring another link in the back, and then that brings another mob in the back. Those spawn duplicates, and then it's like, and those duplicates aggro other duplicates. I'm like, oh god, it gets ugly. Like you will just see a fucking wave of monsters coming at you, and you're just like, yeah, you better go in the corner and die somewhere, because you're not pulling that whole train on us. So I'd have to do that sometimes. I'd have to go and if I make a mistake, I'd have to go kill myself. I'd have to be like, hey, stay back, stay back. Like, let me die. Let me die. So I'd kill myself, and then the monsters would go back. But then the problem is, since they're spawned, it would now you have to deal with it. Now you usually, and what you had to do is you would kill them in chunks. So what I would do as a strategy, there'll be, let's say the monsters on the left, and then let's say the party's on the right and the monsters on the left. And there's two ways that you can go. You can go in the back or the front. So what I would do is I would run. I use my flee ability, which Thief had, makes you run really, really fast. I'd run through the entire mob, so they chase me, and I'd run all the way to the back. So all these monsters are chasing me, and then the party, what they would do is they would pull the monsters, the single ones, out of the pack. So they pull like 2, 3 mobs at a time out of the pack, while I'm leading all the other ones away from the alliance. And then I would try to keep myself alive. They call it kiting. You would just kite the monster in a circle. So I'd kite all these 50 mobs, and I would just be like running in circles, just going like, "Let me know, I can't stop moving, because if I stop moving, I'm dead." So, and then I would, when they're okay, bring the next one. I'd run back with monsters, run back to the lines. I pull 3 more, and then I run away and go, okay, pop by flee again. Okay, run in circles again. I do that for like 20, 30 minutes straight. I would just be doing that, just keeping my distance, because if I stop moving, the monsters will just, and it's like I'm dead in like 2 seconds. Like they're really nasty. But yeah, I used to do a lot of. That's how strategic 11 was. You had to. One thing I liked about 11 so much is you had to respect the monsters. The monsters were so powerful, so they would just fuck you up so fast. So you always had to use strategies like that to win because you couldn't go toe to toe with them because they would just hit you so hard. It was a really neat game in that aspect. You really you always when you walked into any enemy zone in the game, you always had that fear. You were scared because you were just the monsters were gonna wreck you, no matter what level. You go into a beginner level zone and you fight stuff at level 20, and these things are ruthless. Like they kill you like so fast, and you don't there's no you don't have a way to deal with it. So you have to respect the terrain, know how the monsters move, positioning, use your tools, use the zone to your advantage, use your abilities. Like every job had like unique abilities that would work really well for certain situations. That's one thing you don't see really in 14 at all. 14 doesn't have that threateningness in the open world. I never felt like the monsters were much of a threat in 14. Like the open world shit seems really piss easy. Where in 11, man, I was scared of a lot of stuff. Like I'd have to fight stuff that's like 10 levels higher than me in 14 to actually give me a challenge. I would beat them. I'd have to be very careful. But in 11, if the monsters are like your level or they're like a couple levels above you, they'll destroy you. They will kill you. So I could see like 14 definitely eased that up a bit, but I liked 11's ruthlessness. It's one thing I liked a lot. 11 really made me appreciate like getting good at the game. It really makes you appreciate it. Like when you know you're good at it and you're capable of learning and doing strategies and you earn that respect. So I like that a lot. And then the end game mobs are just fucking evil. They're like the mobs in the normal world are hard, but the ones in the end game are fucking evil. They will fuck you up if you don't know the strategies or know their tools. Because they a lot of times they just have bullshit tools. They have tools that would be like they have a lot of tools that you don't have. They have moves that you don't have. Don't have access to. And sometimes they're multi effect. Sometimes you can't interrupt them. You can't sleep them. You can't silence them. It's like fuck, man. And they hit like a truck. Some of them hit like kill you in 1-2 hits because they hit so hard. So you have to use different strategies to figure out how to defeat them. But that's what made the game so great. I really felt like because it was so hard, that's why people liked it so much because they could appreciate the how it felt to accomplishment in that game felt really good. 14 doesn't really feel that way. 14 just feels kind of just handed to you. Whereas 11, man, it's like when you said you were good at 11, people look up to you. They would like people in game would respect you. That's one thing I noticed, man. God, like I would play and I like command respect because of how good I was at the game. Like what was always made me happy is when I would play with Japanese players. Like, 'cause this was really difficult. You'd play with Japanese parties, and they hate leveling with American people because they don't want to deal with language barrier, and they personally don't think American players are usually that good. And when you go play with a Japanese group, and they would see you just wreck ass, like you would just be like, God damn, like this fucker knows how to play, and they would just respect you and they would tell you that in parties. Like I remember, I used to always hear it. It's like it felt good, like knowing like they would say like like they would say in auto translate they'd be like incredibly tough like player, like very tough player, like very smart. They would like praise you because they would just be like, "Damn, you actually know how to play." Like they're not used to seeing that because usually when they play with American people, are very incompetent. So when they see somebody that's honestly that good, and they're like, "Holy crap, this guy's American, he's that good," and it was like just an honor to be able to play at that level and prove yourself to others. And then you had a reputation. That's one thing about new about 11 that 14 does not have. 11 reputation mattered because there was no cross server shit. It was you played on your own server. So when you had a good reputation, people talked good about you in town. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, that guy, he's a really good thief, or he's a good black mage. Like that guy's fucking legit. Like he's really damn good." Or he's very honest. He's a great teammate. People would talk about you, and that reputation mattered. So when you went to, like, let's say parties would shout for team members, and they saw your name, you would get like priority. You get special treatment because they'd be like, "Oh man, I played with this guy. Well, guy's good," and you get an invite. And you might even use a job that is not very like demanded, and they'd be like, "Nah, you're an exception. Like you're okay, man. I'll take you any day of the week." And that shit was just like, man, dude, that was awesome. Just earning that respect. Like I took months to earn that respect. Yeah, but I'm just saying, you didn't have like how it is now. But back then, it was literally the server. That was it. You commanded respect on the server, your server, and only your server. There was no pickup. There was no what do you call it? What do you call it? Queuing up. That shit didn't exist. It was literally you would put your seeking flag up and go, "Hey, I'm looking for party." You'd shout so people can hear you, and you just wait. That was it, and you just hope someone picked you up. No, there's no duty finder in 11. Dude, they didn't have that shit. That was non-existent in that game. There's no such thing as duty finder in 11. Everything's manual, dude. There's just shouting in town and hoping somebody, hears your shout and is looking. "Oh, I'm looking for DPS. 2 out of 3, 2 out of 6 people in party." And then you would say what jobs you have, and you say what jobs you're looking for while you're shouting. And then people would put their flags up, and they would message you, say, "Hey, I'm this job. Do you need this?" Like that's how it was back then. That's how it all was. That was normal. So very old school. So parties would take hours to assemble. And then when you went to a party, you're expected to spend several hours. And when you had a good party, I would sometimes do 8-hour leveling sessions. I'd level for 8 hours straight because the party was that good. Which is like you didn't have the luxury to just level up, and it takes a few minutes to get down there. And no, this is something that took, it was like a trip. You planned it. Like there was a lot of planning. There was a lot of time, and wasting, like getting into a party and having it disband would kill your progression. Like it would, like losing a party member. Sometimes you'd be waiting an hour just to fill in one slot. That's like how bad it is. Because again, you're only pertaining to the whole server that's online on your server. It's not like Duty Finder where it searches everybody in every single server for a person that needs to fulfill a role, which is way easier. So imagine doing that, but on a very small scale of people. So you had to depend, and then you had to do it at certain times of day too, because some days you're like, "Oh well, this is a bad hour, can't do a party," so you have to go do something else. Yeah, 14 DPS queue is nothing compared to 11, dude. You have no idea how bad 11 is. You have no idea. 11 is like pain compared to 14. 14 is like people complain they have to wait 30 minutes. I'm like, woohoo, 30 minutes. I wish I only had to wait 30 minutes on 11. 11 is hours. It's not like that anymore, thank God, because most of the stuff you can just do yourself. Which is, I already knew the game was going to become that way because a game like that can't maintain that playstyle anymore. It's too demanding for most people. It's a job. That's the problem with 11. It's a job. It is a full time job. 14 isn't like that. So I can see why people like 14 because it doesn't have that demand that 11 has. 11's just like it expects way too much. It does not respect your time. 11 disrespects your time way too much. It makes you wait. It teaches you patience. It makes you drag your feet a lot. So I could see why 11 changed the way it did. It's understandable. It still has some archaic shit in it that the pacing of the game is much faster now. Believe me, it's way faster. But it's not as fast as 14. 14's way quicker. So there's things I do like 14 better. Pacing in 14 is much better than 11. But I like 11's strategy. I think 11 has more in-depth strategy compared to 14. 14 just feels too much cookie cutter rotation. There's really no strategy in 14. It's not like it's not like 11 where you have to come up with clever ways to defeat an enemy. 14 just pretty much spells it out for you. A lot of times it's always like it tells you like the attacks are very scripted. So it tells you where to stand and where not to stand. It's very it's cookie clear as day at what you're supposed to do. It doesn't. It's no secret to it. It's like okay, well I'm gonna do this big attack, and then I'm gonna have all these shiny circles or straight lines or whatever, and it kind of just indicates, well, I know what to avoid. It's very visually easy to determine what's a threat and what isn't. 11 doesn't have that. 11 doesn't have that on anything. 11 doesn't. There's no script. 11 is everything is blank. There's no. The only thing you can tell a monster's gonna do something is by their visual cue. So a lot of times they'll like move a certain way, or they'll like stand in place and like do like a charge up attack. That's how you know. That's the only way you know something's gonna go on. And you have to read the chat log to know exactly what they're reading, so you kind of prepare for it. But yeah, 11 monsters don't. There's no visual cue like on the ground to tell you where not to stand or where to move. There's none of that shit. It's like it's completely figure it out. You're blind. You don't know what you're doing, you will get destroyed. Where 14, like it really only seems to apply on very few situations where you don't know what you're doing. So, but for the base stuff and most of it's figured out yourself. It's like it's pretty easy to figure out. So at least they do that with the high level stuff. Thank God. Because imagine if they did, if it just told you what to do, then it's just like, but I'm done with 14 comic. I just can't do it anymore, dude. I don't have any interest in the game. It doesn't satiate my appetite. It really doesn't. I think I have such a hot hardcore play style that 14 doesn't cut it for me. 14's not hardcore, I guess, enough for me. Like I need more. I need more with with my MMO. I'm spoiled with 11, so I have a high degree of I expect a lot. So 14 just doesn't give it to me. It doesn't give me that level of satisfaction that I want. That's why I don't play it. That's why I just watch. And I prefer to do things myself now. I don't want to rely on people. That's another reason why I don't play 14. I hate playing with people. I hate playing with 14. I hate pickup parties. Hate, hate pickup parties. I fucking detest them so much. Because I'm tired of playing with people that don't know what they're doing. Because I'm a very fast learner. I don't take long to learn. I've been through too much 11 shit to know what's up. So I know I could cruise through 14 real easy. But the problem is I'm going to get frustrated with people because I'm going to go join pickup groups where I'm going to get wrecked. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. And then just failing on the same thing over and over and over and over and over because of pickup groups because you're just getting bad players. And at that point, you just give up. I quit. I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Screw this shit. Not fun. So I don't have patience to deal with people. I just don't. I used to be a guild leader. I know the struggle and frustration of being a guild leader. It's not fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of frustration. It's a lot of bashing your head in because you get so impatient with people. And I just like, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. I just don't have the patience anymore. Yeah, that's probably why I like Genshin so much because Genshin lets me play at my pace and I don't have to play with anybody. Yeah, I mean, you could tolerate it, I guess. I just can't. It gets to a point. Problem is because I want to do the high level shit. I remember I remember when 14 first came out. I was doing. I mean, I could show you. You want to see my old character? You want to see? You want to see Kiara? My Kiara back in the day. I think I still have my videos. I don't. Let me look it up. You want to see my character? I still have it on my channel. Still had this is back in ARR, dude. Like back in the beginning. Yeah, look at this shit. Look at how fucking long ago when I used to play, dude. Way back in the day. Remember this shit, man? Remember when I did this shit? Oh, this was a thing. This was me back in the day, dude. Remember this was a big thing back then? This was like end game. This was like the hardest fight in the game at the time, like that and like Titan Extreme. When I did this day one, like when it came out. I would like practice this shit. This is when me and my friend used to play it together. You know, this was like 7 years ago. This came out, dude. Like I said, this is really new. I used to do this shit all the time. Yeah, I was a god at this, dude. That was really good. People were like, oh, my friends saw me do this. They were like, yeah, dude, you're like really good at this. I'm like, yeah, dude. It's like nothing to me. Nothing to me now. Yeah, I used to play this shit back when it was actually challenging, when it was actually, you know, it's actually hard. And the extreme fights were fucking brutal, man. Brutal as fights. You make a mistake, you're dead. You're just fucking dead. Yeah, now it's a joke, man. Now it's like pissy. Yeah, this back then, it's like, yeah, you actually had to know what you're doing. Yeah, just watching everything, doing the tether mechanic. What's up, Cruz? How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. This is like I said, this is so long ago. Back when I was, like I said, back when I used to play this game, and I cared. But I don't care. I don't give a shit about this game anymore. Those days are done. I gave this game a chance. I know it's gotten supposedly better, but I don't, I've already been through this rodeo. My character, I had everything I wanted. I had relic, full relic gear. I had everything at 50. I was god tier gear. I had everything, dude. I was like, yeah, I'm a god. My Dragoon is god at the time. I did all the in-game shit. I was no problem with that. Yeah. And for me, like I said, the minute it starts becoming fun, and I just quit. I only play as long as I want to. As long as it's still fun and challenging to me, but the minute that's gone, I'm done. I give up. Yeah. I think though I'm at a point right now though. I think I'm at a point though right now where 14 and 11 don't do anything for me anymore. I think that's the difference between me and you. The games don't do anything for me anymore. But yeah. I will say this was funny. This part was hilarious. The epic lot at the end when I won the drop. That was so fucking funny. Like you want to see the most epic roll like ever. Like this is hilarious. Just so you guys can see it. And I got the drop, the Gerudo ring. Shit was so funny. People just laughed. I had to record it because it was so funny. Like you see it in the log. And I got it. It's like I'm gonna roll for it. Like what? It was too funny. Yeah. What fucking god tier. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is the most epic roll, like in the history of Final Fantasy XIV. Nobody can compare to that roll. Nobody. That is unbelievable bullshit roll. Like you can't. When I saw that, I was like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Like, there's no way that you have to have the most god tier of bad luck to lose to my roll. Like, how in the fuck did you lose to my roll? Like, when I saw that, I was like, are you kidding me, dude? So fucking funny. Oh, God. I was like, I'd be pissed if I was the guy who lost. I'd be so pissed. Yeah, I did that shit. I was like, yep, that's called bullshit luck. Oh, man. That's too funny, man. Too fucking funny. Just insult to injury, dude. Oh, God. Too funny. Ugh. Too funny. Epic, epic roll, man. Yeah, like I said, he rolled a 1 and then I rolled a 2. It's just like this insult, man. That's such the insult is so real. Man, roll that 1. Oh, fucking 2. I'm like, like the odds of that happening are so abysmal low. Because I think it's 1 through 99. It's 1 through 999. So I think that's what it is. So literally 1 of 1,000 chance I'm gonna roll. Like, how could you lose to a? Like, how could you lose to that? It's like, holy shit! Like, that's terrible. Ugh, too good though. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. It's just not there anymore. I'm like kind of depressed. It's not there anymore. I had such passion to like make my characters really good and played so much and I cared so much. Now it's like I just don't care anymore, and that's what's sad. I don't know what happened. Like, see your passion just disappear like that. I just can't play MMOs anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I really don't know anymore. What happened? I don't understand. I'm still so confused. What happened with 11? Like, where did I misstep? Like, where? Why did the passion just disappear? I just don't understand. I really do. Somebody that played this game as long as I did, and all of a sudden, just all of a sudden, it's just gone. Like, no rhyme, no reason, just gone. Like, wow. I don't know how the dopamine was a thing for 15 years straight, and all of a sudden the dopamine just stops working. Like, I don't know. That to me just sounds weird. I can't. I just don't get it anymore. And 14 was even faster. 14, it lasted me 8 months. I played 14 for 8 months and I quit. That was pretty short for me. So I don't know. It's just sad, just seeing the game, like my adventures just stop all of a sudden. I really have a hard time understanding like why. Well, I guess. Well, I'm a binge player though. You gotta understand. I'm really hardcore. I binge hard, so I like binging. I like getting enveloped in a game. I don't like playing games for like a brief moment. I don't like that shit. To me, it's like I don't know. I just don't get any satisfaction out of playing a game for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So, but at the same time, it needs to be engaging, where I'm interested and I'm constantly wanting to keep playing. There needs to be that addiction factor. But it can't, just because a game is grindy doesn't mean it's good either. You could have a grindy game all you want. If it's boring as shit, I'm not going to play it. So, there's a lot of factors that go into a game that I like to play. And if those things aren't aligned up properly, I won't play it. I'm too picky. So, yeah, there's a lot of grindy games out there. There's a ton of them. And you'd be surprised how many I don't play. I will not play. and I have no interest in playing. So I don't know. I don't know. It's like fighting game. Well, fighting games is a different story. Fighting games, I'm just depressed right now with fighting games. Fighting games are just honestly, I am so depressed with fighting games right now. I'm just like my most passionate genre has become such a piece of shit, and I've been just like don't care about most fighting games anymore. I can't stand how they play. I can't stand what's happened to them, and it's just cringing me just to seeing what fighting games have become. It's like, yay, for people like me, we've got the short end of the stick. Horrible. Like I back in the day when fighting games I thought were a lot more expressive, a lot more open end, a lot more do what the fuck you want, a lot more creative, a lot more just you know there was more you could do so much more. Now it's just the way games are now with fighting games. They force you to play a certain way. It's very restrictive, very cookie cutter, homogenous, and it drives me nuts. I fall asleep. Like I get bored so fast playing. I'm like, oh god, it's so boring. Like I don't know why people play this shit. And I know uh, Comic Man can agree with me on that one. Like Guilty Gear Strive, yawn. I know he agrees with me on that one. Guilty Gear Strive is major bore. Puts me game that puts me to fucking sleep. Like, yay, my favorite fighting game franchise downgraded to a joke. Can't play that game anymore, man. Just can't do it. Can't do it. I refuse. I refuse to spend the time to play that game because of how boring it is. But well, that's the thing. I haven't been enjoying anything. The only fighting game that I recently played that I had a ton of fun with was DNF Duel, and that's I played the beta. Um, I played the beta recently, like right here. This is I think gonna be fighting game of the year for me. Me playing this shit was like hype as fuck. I honestly was. It brought me back in a good way, like where I was like, I had my faith was restored in fighting games with this game, and I was happy to see it. Like, oh man, I can't wait to fucking buy this game. Like, this is been waiting for a game like this for years. Like, Melty Blood didn't do much for me, sadly, because they fucked it up too. I liked it in the beginning, but then I started noticing the problems, and again, it's because of bad decisions by the company to cater to the majority. Which again, stop doing that shit. You stop doing that. Like, stop dumbing your game down because you want to sell to the majority, and the majority doesn't give a fuck about your game. That's why they all left. That's why nobody plays it anymore. So the game's dead. So I'm hoping this game puts me back into the spotlight where I'm like, okay, I actually care about fighting games again. Because I put a lot of time into this game just for the beta, and I was really enjoying it. I was like, oh my god, it's like it felt like I was playing Guilty Gear. Like it felt like Exert all over again. I was like, damn, this made me feel like when I played Xrd day one. Like I was like a kid in a candy store, man. I was just enjoying myself and just learning the game, and I was just having a hell of a good time. And I played for 26 hours straight. I played all 3 days for 26 hours. I put a lot of time into this beta. So I fucking was just milking it, dude. I was like, oh my god, love it. Like, mwah, fucking chef's kiss, man. Just like, why can't we have more of this? Like, why, we need more of this. I want more of this. Stop serving the other shit. I want this shit. Give me this shit. Give me the good shit. Well, it's not just that. I think DNF Duel's brokenness is what makes it good, though. I actually like that it's broken to a degree. I mean, the Infinite's got to go, of course, but I think because of how open ended everything is and how much freedom you have, I don't mind the brokenness. I don't. I think it's nice to just be able to play a game and play how you want to. Just do what the fuck you want and don't and not feel so your hands tied behind your back all the time. Where you like you want to do that, you can't do that. You know, this game just lets you do what the fuck you want. Not with the character I use. Shit, fucking Striker has a lot of freedom. Striker and Striker and what's her name? Kuno each have a lot of freedom. Ridiculous amount of freedom. So does who else has a lot of freedom? See, I would say Ranger has a lot of freedom too. He's got some crazy shit in the air. Some characters are kind of boring. Like, obviously, I don't like fucking Crusader. Crusader's a fucking yawn fest. But there are a lot of characters I do enjoy in here. Like, some I think are a little stupid, but the characters I actually like to play, like I liked her too. Fucking Dragon Knight was interesting. I think she's pretty fun. She has some interesting flight mechanic moves. Yeah, Crusader's dumb. Crusader's a one-trick pony. That's why I don't play him. He's boring. I tried him out. Like this guy's boring. But no, but I like Striker and Kunoichi. I think they're like one of the most fun characters to play, and I do like Dragon Knight to a degree. I actually kind of like Inquisitor too. But I think the one thing I like about the system is the cancel move, the conversion cancel, which I thought was really interesting. I really like how the conversion cancel really changes up the gameplay because it's something that happens very frequently. Because I get like God when I was playing when I knew how to use the conversion cancel, I was getting like four to five, six cancels around. Like I would use the conversion cancel a lot. I was like, dude, there's some interesting shit with this stuff. I gotta use more of that. Like that shit's crack. Like it's like a Roman cancel, and I love it. And I'm just like, oh my god, I could come up with some interesting things with this move. So I want to do more with it. Yeah, I never Tatsunoko versus Capcom. What's up, Osaka? Cause I'm bored. I'm bored, Osaka. I don't want. There's nothing for me to play. I played like what did I play after recently? I played the Owner is update. That wasn't very much. I did some demos, which were okay. Played Death Smiles Collection. I played Zombie Army 4 for a bit. That got a little tiring. And then I had the DNF Duel beta, which was the most fun I had in months, in years for fighting games. And then that's it. Like I haven't been. I kind of ran out of things I want to play. I mean, what am I gonna play, dude? I mean, there's nothing. There's stuff coming out. Don't get me wrong. There's stuff is coming out. It's not like there isn't stuff coming out. It's just it's not coming out till way later. I don't got anything until February, so I need something to fill my gap for February. But you also got to understand, I'm in a certain mood. I'm in a DNF dual mood right now. That's for sure. I tried to go back to Blaze Blue, but Blaze Blue I think is like too gatekeepy for me now. So it was cool going back to the beta for a few days. Like I played Blaze Blue for like 5 days, and then but then I noticed the gatekeeping starting happening, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to play this anymore. Like because it was giving me those bad feelings again. I was getting like I respect the game. It's just it's one of those games of you're gonna fight those people, and then eventually it just becomes those people, And it's like, okay, well, if I can't play at that level, then there's no point playing. So at that point, I'm just like, I'm like, I don't want to sit here and fucking spend thousands of hours just to play casually with people I don't care about. And that's the truth, dude. I just don't care. Yeah, you had your PC muted. But yeah, that's what I'm going through, Saka. Just kind of having gamer block right now. I just don't know what else to play. Like I've looked through everything. I don't. There's nothing for me that I want to play right now. I even got Final Fantasy VII Remake and out for PC, and I was like, I know this whole game almost. Like I recently played it. I don't want to play it again, and I'm just like, and also too, the stuttering issues was annoying on the game. But ultimately, I'm just playing the same game again. I'm like, okay, I don't want to play this again. So again, I'm going back to I'm playing the same game again. I have it. I have it on PC. They gave me a free copy at work. It's all right. I mean, it's got problems. The stuttering is definitely annoying. Hopefully they fix it, but they're probably not going to. Probably till later. I don't think they're gonna fix it anytime soon. But but yeah, it's just right now. I just don't know what to play. I mean, I got some games I could play, but it's like one of those. Am I in the mood? That's the thing. It's all about the mood, man. You got to be in the mood. Yeah, I mean, I got like Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Um, my friend bought me Mirror's Edge, Catalyst. I have games I could play, but I'm not really in the mood for those games. So, the Black Heart. I've played that before. I played that a long time ago, man. Like years ago. Long time ago, dude. Yeah, it's just a lot of these games. I look at them, and I'm just like, I don't want to play this. It's something just needs to strike you the right way, you know. There's something that just it clicks you the right way, and you just kind of get that. It fills that little scratch that you want, and I could just look at something and go, I'm not feeling that. Even if I try it, I know I'm not going to really feel it. I mean, you can generally tell when I don't really like something too much. I'll kind of drop it pretty fast, or I have no desire to finish it. Because there's games I have that I bought that I could finish, but I just don't want to. Like, I just don't care to do so. There's a lot of games like that, sadly. There's games in this list I'll probably never come back. I never will. Just because I just don't care. And I'll just do it, man. Just can't force myself to play something. I just can't. I have to be in the mood. And when I'm in a certain mood, like I want to play certain things. Like right now, I'm in a fighting game mood. I have an itch right now. I have an itch for fighting games right now. Like, and that's all thanks to DN Abdul. DN Abdul brought me back. Brought me back in the sense of, like, yeah, I want to play more of this. Because also it was a new experience too. That's why I liked it so much. Not only did I enjoy it, it was a new experience. Whereas Blaze Blue, while it's a great game, it's a very, very deep game. It's just I played it before. I played it so much, and I'm just like I'm kind of done with it. You know, the only fighting game that I would return to, oh, I mean, aside Nitro Plus and Million Arthur, if Xrd got rollback, I'd be back on that probably. I'd probably jump back on that for a bit, just because I haven't played it in so long, and I need to wash the taste of Strive out of my mouth. Because Strive left the worst taste ever. It's like I can't, it's a taste I'll never forgive. So it's one of those that's the exception. But yeah, ultimately I just want to play something new. but I like fresh, but something that's something that I like. So, and there's a lot of games coming out next year that look great. I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of good shit coming out. A lot of good shit. Next year looks really hype for me. I got at least like 8 games I want to play. So, starting in December. No, it's not King of Fighters. I'm actually gonna be skipping that game. Like me and my friend said the same thing about King of Fighters 15, and he said he was like, "I'm just not feeling it, dude. It just looks like KOF 14 again." And yeah, and that's how I felt too. KOF 15 just feels like KOF 14 again, just with a couple characters that we haven't seen in a while, like the Orochi team. I was like, "Oh, that's cool," but as far as the game itself, I don't think it's going to add much to the table. It's just I don't think KOF 15 is going to add much. I'm being honest. It just looks like it's KOF 14 how it should have been. That's what KOF 15 is. KOF 15 is to 14 as KOF 13 was to 12. That's how I feel with 15. 15 is what 14 should have been. 13 is what 12 should have been. It's the same feeling I'm getting. It's like 14, I hated. I thought 14 was bleh. And 15 was like, oh, cool. It's a much more polished 14. I give it credit there. It looks better. It plays better. It had things that 14 did that should have been changed. That's how I see it. I really do. I don't see. I mean, it's traditional, I guess you could say. I respect that KOF is keeping the tradition. It's not deviate too much. I like the fact that they didn't like completely dumb down the gameplay. I mean, I don't agree with the auto combos. I still think the fact that they elaborated on the auto combos was kind of stupid. But that's one gripe I have with the game. But as far as like it's traditional, it's classic. It stays true to the core. It's definitely King of Fighters. It's definitely 98 like revised. It's got that feeling. I still don't like the 3D look. I prefer 2D graphics, but ultimately, it's what it is. I respect it, but I think it's one of those games that I've kind of moved on from it. It's just not for me anymore. That's why I don't play it. I stopped playing King of Fighters since 13, to be honest. 13 was my last King of Fighters. After that, 14 just killed it for me. I was like, yeah, I'm done with King of Fighters. And 15 was just like, I don't really care. It's one of those, it's classic. It's got legacy. I respect the game, and it's a very difficult game to play. It's very hard. Probably one of the hardest 2D fighters, in my opinion. Like, from a, not from that, from a more classic style gameplay, I mean, it's hectic. It's a very hectic game. And it takes a pretty high degree of execution. So, definitely I respect it. I have no problem against it. But I feel like it's just not for me anymore. That's how I feel about King of Fighters. Got nothing against it. I want to see it succeed. I'm cool with it. Hey, it's got legacy. It's got some cool characters. But it's just, I think I'm just over King of Fighters. It's like how I'm over Smash Brothers. I'm done with Smash. I don't care about Smash anymore. I could care less of another Smash Brothers game. I'm honestly, to be honest, I'm sick of seeing Smash. I'm sick of seeing Smash clones. I'm sick of seeing, like, oh, look, it's Nickelodeon All Stars. I don't fucking care. Hey, look, it's multiverses. I don't fucking care. Like, it's those games of just, I'm done. I have put them behind me. I never want to look at them ever again. That's the thing. That's how I feel. I feel that anime fighters did spoil me. That's for sure. I think the anime fighters definitely have spoiled me compared to traditional based fighters, which is why I don't like traditional based fighters. I don't like traditional based fighters anymore. Anime fighters have really deviated me from traditional fighters because after getting a taste of that shit, I can't go back. It feels like such a regression to me. It's like going back to play checkers when you played chess. Like I've played chess, and I'm like, why do I want to play checkers? Chess is way better. That's how it feels. Yeah, I don't like checkers. I think checkers is boring as shit. That's what Street Fighter feels like to me. It's like checkers. I feel like a lot of shit that goes on in those games. That's just me. I like chess. I'm just making a simple comparison between the two. It's like comparing Guilty Gear to Street Fighter. It's just like there's just so much more with Guilty Gear compared to Street Fighter. Just with ridiculous levels of more. Another example is probably like playing an American board game versus a European board game. It's like playing shoots and ladders, and then you're playing a game like Settlers of Catan. Like it's such a different experience and so much more. It's just so much the better. The gameplay is just so much more. So it's hard for me to go back to that shit. I'm done. I feel like I've grown up from it. It's like Mario. Mario is another example. I'm so done with Mario. I could care two fucks less about Mario, dude. Mario to me is like overstayed its welcome. So hard. It's not for me anymore. It's for little kids. It's cool. It can exist. I don't give a shit that it exists. But it's just not for me. I don't have any excitement levels to any new Mario game. I don't care about Mario at all. I don't want to play anything Mario related. I don't want to play. I don't want to play Mario Kart. I don't want to play Smash Brothers. I don't want to play Mario Brothers. I don't want to play Mario Party. I don't want to play any of that shit. Like it's just like I've played it so much, and it's just like it's just I'm done with it. But I mean, there's other Nintendo franchises I love that I. What's up, Vix? How you doing? I mean, look at me, man. Metroid, I haven't gotten sick of. Metroid, actually, I that's one franchise I've always been faithful to, and because I've always felt Metroid was always a big boy game compared to Mario. Metroid was always like a game that I think grew up with me. Like I felt like the game grew up. Like Metroid is like a grown up game. Like it's a game where an older person I think would appreciate more rather than a kid. Same with like Zelda. Zelda is something that I think an older person would appreciate more because Zelda at least is trying to grown up. Where Mario kind of just stayed. I don't know. I feel like Mario just didn't do the same. It stays in its niche. Like there's some things that's done a little different. Like I know a lot of people like Mario Odyssey and stuff. I get it. Mario, what Mario Sunshine. Yeah, I can't. I just can't play Mario Brothers anymore. Mario Brothers just I'm just not into it anymore. Nintendo in general, I don't like Nintendo too much. Outside of Metroid and Zelda, I don't give a shit about Nintendo. Like I really don't care about Nintendo at all. So it can exist. I don't mind. Hey, it's cool. It's definitely has an audience, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. It's just it's not for me. I know it's for me. I know what I look for, and that's where I'm. I just leave those games behind me, and it's like, hey, you guys were good times back in the day when the old me used to play it, but the new me, you don't have a place here anymore. Just sorry, you just don't. I just can't. I'm not gonna lie to myself and pretend I'm gonna like it. That's one thing you won't ever hear me do. I won't ever pretend I like something. I don't. I just can't do that. I have to be truthful. I'm not gonna sit there and play something where I'm literally not having fun, or I'm literally just forcing myself to do something I don't want to do. So at least I know when I don't like something, I'm gonna just tell you straight up, I don't like it. I'm just cold cut about it. I'll try new things. There's nothing wrong with trying new things, but I can usually tell if I'm gonna like something. Pretty quick to determine that. It doesn't take me very long. I can just look something for like 5 minutes. I'll know if it's totally up my alley, or if it's like, yeah, this looks boring as shit, or this is overrated. Yeah, I can just, I've played too many games to know that. It's rare you ever see me like, oh, well, like, what is this? It's rare you see me do that. You really have to make a lasting impression on me to do that. You want me to turn my head, you got to do something crazy. I don't know, that's just an old man thing, or just me just playing too many video games. Gotten played everything under the sun, so maybe that's what it is. I've just played way. I've been around the bush way too many times. Being an old 42-year-old gamer, I guess will do that to you. So, you figure with a guy like me, you think I'd be like a purist. I'd be like playing all old games only. And I'm actually the opposite. I actually play newer stuff. Most people that I know is my age are usually always playing the old shit. They're like retro gamers. They only play retro. I only play old school because nothing is good in the new world. I'm just like, and then I'm here kind of like the opposite. I'm finding stuff is the newer. There's some good new stuff out there. You just have to look for it. I found a couple. I find some gems. I find gems that are new world. I do find them. It's just you have to look really hard. But man, when you find them, it's the best shit ever. It's a high, dude. I get a sensory overload when I find good new games where I'm like, oh man, why haven't I played this? Like, holy shit. But I think ultimately, though, it's the new experience. I think that's honestly where my heart falls into. I think my heart is really desiring a tasty new experience where it's a fun experience, but it's new, it's fresh, there's just so much to take in. That's what gets me. That's what I look for. That is my true passion with games. Is finding that new experience that just satiates my hunger. And it's the biggest sensory overload. I love that shit so much. And when I find it, trust me, believe me, you will know. I will clamor about it like no tomorrow. And then I have found a few recently. Like I said, when I was playing some Steam games. I was playing what was it? What was the two games I saw recently that just blew my mind? Yeah, like this one, Phobia was amazing. I was like, holy shit, this game is fucking sick. And then I played what was that other one? Yeah, Risu was a fucking amazing. And then what was that other game? Oh yeah, that Toho game. That that Toho game with what's her name? Cherno. Yeah, this one. I was like, you got my money, man. Fucking take my money, dude. I was hooked on this game. Like, holy shit, this game is good. It's so fucking good. Like, why is this not out? You didn't get the stream. Fell asleep earlier than usual. No, that's fine. No worries. I hope you're doing okay, Vix. Hope you're doing okay. I haven't been doing too much myself. Like I said, I've just been playing Genshin because I got nothing else going on. I've been bored. I'm like trying to legit. Well, maybe you just haven't found the right game. You just maybe haven't found the right game. Maybe that's what it is. Trust me, dude. I look hard, but man, when I find that gold nugget, Man, dude, it's great. It's great, dude. I can attest to that shit. It is the greatest feeling when you find that special game that just tugs at your heartstrings, and you're just like, damn, man, what an experience. And you're just having a great time playing it. You do there they do it does exist, man. You just have to look. But yeah, majority of the time it's mostly blunders. Unfortunately, I run into blunders way too much. At that point where like I would say 90% of the games I play are blunders or uninteresting or just mediocre games, which are the worst. And then that other 10% is those gems that you find. It just you have to dig through the shit to get to it. But when you find them, it is quite the experience, man. It is quite an enlightening moment where you feel that joy in your heart, and you're just like, oh my god, I haven't felt this way in so long. That's what I look for. That's honestly what I look for. It's those moments like that. Once in a while, I get them. They do happen. And then you see like the real me come out. You see the passion me come out. You see the side of me you guys don't get to see very often. Alchemy stores? I don't know what that is. Never heard of it. That's cool though. I mean, like I said, Osaka, you just play what brings you joy. I mean, don't. I stop trying to pretend I like something or play what everybody else plays just because, oh, it's because everybody else plays it must be good. And then there's times where I'm like, I try to give a game a chance, and a lot of times, even when I give it a chance, I don't like it. I'm like, I'm trying to be nice, but it's just like, dude, I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry. I just don't feel it. Strive was a perfect example of that. I was trying to give it a chance too many times. I was like, okay, let me try the beta. Let me try the second beta. Let me try the full release. It didn't change. Nothing changed. I was being overly generous with the game. I was literally just saying, hey, I'm tired of giving this game chances because it's not doing shit. And I'm not going to pretend I like it. I couldn't stand, kept giving it chances because I knew it didn't deserve it. He was like, nope, no. I said, no, shooting you down. I'm done. Mm-mm. Like, nope, I'm done. I have made up my mind. My mind is solid. Like, that game was crap. There was nothing that was going to change my mind after that. I knew for a fact that, and then I had no hope in it changing. And I was right. Two patches in, it's two game change patches, and it didn't do shit. The game is still being played the same way. You're seeing most people play the same way. Almost all characters are being used the same way, and it's just boring to watch. Really boring to watch. Like, I'm sorry, but man, when I watch Strive matches, I get so bored. I get put to sleep, dude. Like, watching high level Strive matches is so boring. Like, it just everybody's doing the same shit. It's like, geez, I wonder what May's gonna do. Geez, I wonder what Kai's gonna do. It just all feels so samey. You don't really see much variation in the playstyle because there's not much variation you can do. And the times that it is kind of varying, those moments are too scarce. The Roman cancel because you don't get enough meter and you die too quick. So, oh look, match is almost over. Like, geez, where'd all my life go? Just everything does Potemkin gorilla damage. Well, yeah, because they're easy to use. They're easy to use and they're good. I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody of the DLC characters really go far in tournaments. I know one of the worst characters is fucking Gold Lewis. He's like one of the worst. A lot of people don't like him anymore. The only person I see maybe you might see in tournaments if they go all the way with him is maybe Happy Chaos. But yeah, you're right. Majority of the tournament users are all base roster. Nobody uses the DLC characters. Absolutely right. I don't think anybody cares. Like I said, I kind of purposely stay away from Strive. So the only reason I even look forward to Strive is the music. That's the only thing I care about. That's the only thing I give two fucks about is the soundtrack. I'm like, oh, cool, new track, and see if they ruin it because like they did with Jacko. God, I hate that song so much. Jacko's song is such booty. Give me Juno any day of the week. I hate her new theme. It sounds so not Guilty Gear. I really don't like the that girl who vocalizes. I don't like her song. I think it's the worst song in the game. I think her that song and May's theme is the worst theme. May's theme's like a troll theme, dude. May's theme is like, man, I remember when May's theme used to be cool. Now May is just like, oh, look at me, I'm a wannabe J-pop star. Like it just doesn't sound right. It just doesn't feel like Guilty Gear. There's no essence with Guilty Gear at all with those songs. Some songs are fucking dope as shit, and then some is just like, what the fuck are these? Like May's song is like, I think this is her worst theme she's ever had by far. I think Blue Water, Blue Sky is still number one. I even think her Exert theme is better. Hell, fucking Unidentified Child is better. That's her first theme from the first game. Like, I think honestly, fucking Disaster of Passion is the worst theme for me. Hands down. Every other Guilty Gear theme is better. Just being honest. And people look at me like, man, you're fucking mean, dude. I was like, don't forget to subscribe. It's all good, Vix. No, we're just talking right now. I'm about to go to sleep right now. I'm about to go to bed in 5 minutes. Yeah, that's just my opinion, Nusaka. I mean, if you like it, it's cool, man. That's just how I feel. I'm sorry. Just being honest. I wish I could tell you, you know, oh man, you like those songs? Cool, I like those songs too. And you're just like, oh man, this guy, what? Really? You don't like that shit? I'm like, yeah, I'm just being honest. Hey, her Strive thing went in one ear and out the other, just like the game did. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's like the theme went in one there just like the game. It was an afterthought. Literally, it was just heard about it one day and like, oh, I don't give a fuck about that game. Oh man, it really says a lot about the game. It's forgettable. So forgettable. Well, don't worry, Osaka. One of these days we'll get a rollback on Exert because that'd be the only thing that that's Guilty Gear in my opinion is dead at this point. Like I've lost faith in Guilty Gear. I've lost complete faith in Guilty Gear. I'm just done with Guilty Gear. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like the only reason I talk about it is just because I hate it. Like I have no good like feelings towards Guilty Gear anymore. My feelings with the game have gone so sour, and it's just like I've become such a negative Nancy towards that franchise now because of Strive. Like Strive is just like it just ruined everything. It's just like my God, dude, man, dude, talk about a series that just was on a high note for so long, and then all of a sudden, like, yep, that just crashed and burned real hard. Can't do it no more, man. Can't. Like I said, I think Guilty Gear right now is it's Tuesday. I just don't even care about it anymore. An afterthought. It's oh yawn. Yeah, I agree. We do like and dislike the same things about Strive. Like things about Strive. When like I said, the only thing I like about Strive is, well, besides the graphics, is the music. That's it. That's the only thing I like about Strive. Nothing else. Oh, and then on the rollback. The rollback, I guess. That's the only good things that came out of Strive. It's like a soundtrack with good netcode. That's all. That's all it's got going for it. Oh, the actual game, I don't care about that. That's just garbage. And you're gonna see me come back for Strive just to see play Jam and watch me cry. That's what you guys are gonna see live on stream. You're gonna see me like, oh, he's playing Strive, he's playing Jam, and then you're just gonna see me in the corner just crying, going, "Can I play Zerd? Because I swear to God, I'd rather play Zerd than this shit. I'm gonna like try to use her, and it's gonna just be so boring. I'll be like, wow, my baby girl is now she's officially discount Jam, but not in a good way. Ruli is more Jam than discount Jam is. Than Jam is discount Jam. Yeah, there's good tracks. I mean, I like Gold Lewis's theme. I like Happy Chaos's theme. I like Potemkin's theme, Melia's theme, Zato. Um, what's his name? Kai's theme is lit. Souls is a good theme. But there's other themes that's like, yeah, they could have been better. I like Axel's theme a lot. But yeah, there's some themes I just don't care for. Particularly, like I said, I think May and Jacko are the worst themes in the game. I just don't like the way they sound. They just don't feel like Guilty Gear. They don't capture the Guilty Gear essence to me. They just sound like I wouldn't even know that was a Guilty Gear song if you would have just let me hear it. What is this from? Kind of like it's not a bad song by itself, I guess. It does, yeah. The vocals I think are too forced, and they also kind of they wear down the song because it's one of those things like, can't you just make an instrumental version? Like seriously, I don't want to hear the vocals. Turn off the vocals. Like I don't want to hear the vocals all the fucking time. Like there should be an option to disable the vocals so you can just hear instrumental versions. I mean, they were good they were good for a while, but then after when you hear it too many times, it does get a little grating on your ears. It's definitely forced, unfortunately. All the songs are forced with vocals, and every song is going to have vocals, unfortunately. So we're definitely going to get that. Yeah, well, we're gonna hear Biken's theme. God, if they have that girl singing Biken's theme, that's gonna sound so fucking booty. We're gonna hear Biken's theme with the girl that sings "Disaster of Passion." I'm like, wait, what? That's gonna sound so weird. Like, why does Biken's theme have like a J-pop singer? Like, it's just like it's gonna sound so fucking weird. It's gonna sound cringe to me. I'd rather Daisuke sing Biken's song than her. I have it's not. I think she's gonna ruin it. I really do. I just can't picture Biken's theme being sung by that girl. It just because you notice like all the songs she sings are the female songs, minus like I think a couple that are not female. Like Eno is a guy, but yeah, like all the other girl themes are sung by her. Like I don't mind it with Amelia. Amelia sounds great, and but fucking May, I don't want to hear Moy Biken. That sounds awful. It's gonna make it sound really cringy. If it's like J-pop sounding with Biken's theme, it's gonna sound stupid. I'll be like, okay, turn this shit off real fast. We'll hear it when it comes out. I'll give it a chance, but don't be surprised if she's singing it that it sounds cringe. Just saying. So I'm gonna laugh if it's horrible and be like, this song is god awful. Holy shit! Like talk about how just to ruin a great theme, ruin like Viking's theme, which is a classic for Guilty Gear. Just to hear it get besmirched by a you know what's her name? I forgot the girl that sings the vocals for the girl songs. Just to hear if her singing. I'm not saying she's a bad singer. It just doesn't sound right with that kind of vocalist for biking. Biking sounds like it'd be a hardcore dude or a hardcore female song. Like you could definitely hear like a strong woman or a strong male vocalist do her thing. Yeah, basically. Listen to Exerd or XX theme. That'd be good enough. I agree with that. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm getting sleepy and tired. So thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Saka, Comic Man, Kuz, Dexterity. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. I'll be back on tomorrow. Uh, Probably around 6 or 7. We'll see. I gotta run some errands tomorrow, so I want to make sure I get some sleep. So, but I'll let you guys know what happens. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, so I need to get some rest. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good one. You guys take care. Peace out.